Hello there, and welcome to the Dreamy Science Channel. Tonight, we'll drift through the quiet science of healing, a gentle journey into the remarkable system working inside you. Every second of your life, even now as you listen, trillions of tiny cells are awake, exchanging whispers of information, mending, balancing, keeping you alive with a precision more delicate and perfect than any machine ever built. Every heartbeat is a pulse of renewal. Every breath feeds a quiet network of repair that never, ever stops. Healing isn't just what happens after we're hurt. It's the silent rhythm of balance, the constant recalibration that defines what it means to be alive. If you find peace in these slow, quiet journeys, you can subscribe, or leave a gentle thought below. Each one helps another sleepy soul find their way here. But for now, just breathe. Let your eyes grow heavy. Let your mind soften and drift. Because even as you rest, your body keeps working, quietly, patiently, lovingly. It rebuilds itself over time, renewing you in waves of invisible change. Bone cells trade places over the span of years. The lining of your stomach refreshes within days. Even your skin, the soft barrier between you and the world, is constantly reborn, layer by layer, in a slow, peaceful cascade. Almost everything that makes up your body today will one day be gone, and yet, the pattern remains. It's as if your body remembers the idea of you and keeps sculpting toward it again and again, forever becoming. This constant rebuilding is not chaos. It is rhythm. It is the breath of biology, a cycle that never asks for rest. You are a living river, made of countless changing cells, flowing through time, while somehow staying whole. With every heartbeat, your body rewrites its story of survival and begins again the quiet act of healing. Beneath the surface, some cells never stop working. In the hidden layers of every organ, there are tireless caretakers whose only purpose is repair. They are the stem-like cells, the silent guardians waiting patiently for a signal that something has gone wrong. In your skin, they mend what's lost to friction and sunlight. In your intestines, they rebuild the lining that wears away with each passing meal. In your muscles, they rest in stillness until an injury calls them to awaken. And when they do, they move with purpose, multiplying, migrating, weaving new tissue into place with quiet precision. They do this endlessly, a dance between rest and renewal, between stillness and motion. Some of these cells have been with you since before you were born, carrying within them perfect memory of your body's original design. They remind every system what whole feels like. Even when you are unaware, they are there, restoring, repairing, rebuilding the body you live in, one silent repair at a time. Your skin remembers how to seal itself from the inside out. Your body remembers how to heal. When the surface of your skin is broken, a tiny storm begins beneath it. Blood rushes in, flooding the wound, and slowly gathers into a warm, protective seal. Fibroblasts move inward like quiet builders, laying down a delicate scaffold of collagen. New skin cells begin their journey across that hidden bridge, creeping from below, closing the gap in gentle, patient waves until the surface meets again. This healing doesn't come from the air above, but from the tissue below, guided by invisible gradients of chemistry and light. Nerves and vessels follow soon after, weaving themselves through the new landscape, restoring sensation and warmth. And what remains is a scar, a soft trace of survival, a visible memory of an invisible wisdom. Even as you sleep, the same patterns unfold quietly, repairing the tiny tears left by the simple act of living. Your skin is not just protection, it's an artist, a living painter that knows exactly how to make itself whole again. And beneath that artistry, your bones are listening too, because your skeleton is never still. Each bone can feel the subtle pressures that move through it. When you walk, lift, stretch, or simply stand, tiny sensors called osteocytes detect where the strain is greatest. They whisper messages to other cells. Some dissolve the old mineral, while others rebuild the new. In this quiet communication, your bones reshape themselves to fit the life you live. They thicken where you bear weight and soften where rest is needed. Even after a fracture, the same wisdom takes over, weaving collagen and mineral until strength returns once more. Your body knows how to heal. It has always known. Every healed bone remembers the forces that once shaped it. and carries that memory deep within its structure. This is why astronauts, adrift in the weightlessness of space, slowly lose bone density and regain it when they return home to Earth's embrace. Your bones are not static pillars. They are living instruments, tuned to gravity, to motion, to the quiet music of your own life. With every step, every breath, they listen, and they rebuild their rhythm beneath your skin. And hidden just beneath your ribs lies another miracle: the liver, the only human organ that can truly regrow itself. It rests there in silence, a patient guardian, holding one of the oldest powers in biology, the power to begin again. Even when part of it is lost, it can return, rebuilding itself to full size, as if remembering its former shape. When damage occurs, the surviving cells awaken. They divide and multiply, guided by a soft chorus of signals that stir ancient sleeping genes. Blood vessels expand, flowing into the new growth like rivers feeding a newborn land. And slowly the organ reorganizes itself, fold by fold, pattern by pattern, until balance is restored. This gift of renewal is older than we are. It may come from a time when our ancestors, the distant creatures of the sea and mud, could regrow entire limbs. That ancient memory still hums in us, a quiet echo of the life that never stopped healing. Even when it's tired, even when it's overworked, your liver continues its quiet service. It cleanses the blood, balances your hormones, stores your energy, and orchestrates the silent chemistry of life. It never truly rests, and yet, it never complains. Its power to rebuild itself is a message of resilience, written deep into the body's design. Within this soft, unassuming structure lives one of nature's clearest proofs that healing is an art our bodies were born to master. And even the nerves, those delicate threads of feeling and motion, know how to find their way home. When a nerve is injured, the body begins to lay out a trail, a path of invisible breadcrumbs. Made of tiny chemical whispers, cells at the damaged end release these subtle signals, guiding the regrowth of the nerve fiber. Schwann cells line the way like quiet lanterns along an old path, lighting the road back to the muscle or skin that once waited for their message. The growth is slow, millimeter by millimeter, but steady, patient, hopeful. The brain waits in silence, sometimes for months, listening, until sensation or movement returns. The precision of it all is astonishing, as if the body remembers its own map. Not every journey ends perfectly, but the attempt never stops. And even when a connection cannot be restored, neighboring nerves may reach out, take on the role, and keep the song of the body going. Healing in the nervous system is a story of persistence, a quiet search for reunion, guided by chemistry, memory, and the simple, beautiful desire to feel again. Your blood carries the news. Every drop is more than a river of red cells. It is a living message of renewal. Your blood is not just a river of red. It is a vast communication network, a living conversation within you. When tissue is damaged, tiny fragments of broken cells release their cries for help, molecular distress signals that ripple through the bloodstream. Platelets are the first to hear. They rush to the wound, forming a gentle clot to seal the breach. But they do more than protect. They speak. They send out waves of chemical messages into the body's quiet night. Those messages summon help: white blood cells, growth factors, and proteins that rebuild. Some signals even travel far beyond the injury, reaching distant organs, preparing them for the work of repair. In these moments, the bloodstream becomes a language, a fluent, silent conversation carrying news of what has happened and instructions for what must come next. All of this unfolds in an instant, faster than thought, more coordinated than any orchestra. While you rest, your circulatory system is not merely delivering oxygen, it is conducting a hidden symphony of healing, directing where care is needed most. Every pulse that flows through you carries not only life, but guidance, a gentle whisper ensuring that every corner of your body knows where help must go. And as you drift into deep sleep, something beautiful begins. The conscious world fades, but the biological world awakens. Growth hormones surge softly through your veins, instructing cells to divide, to rebuild, to weave torn fibers back together. Your muscles knit themselves in silence. Your body works in peace. And all you need to do is rest. Your blood is not just a river of red. It is a vast communication network, a living conversation within you. When tissue is damaged, tiny fragments of broken cells release their cries for help, molecular distress signals that ripple through the bloodstream. Platelets are the first to hear. They rush to the wound, forming a gentle clot to seal the breach. But they do more than protect. They speak. They send out waves of chemical messages into the body's quiet night. Those messages summon help. White blood cells, growth factors, and proteins that rebuild. Some signals even travel far beyond the injury, reaching distant organs, preparing them for the work of repair. In these moments, the bloodstream becomes a language, a fluent, silent conversation carrying news of what has happened and instructions for what must come next. All of this unfolds in an instant. Faster than thought, more coordinated than any orchestra. While you rest, your circulatory system is not merely delivering oxygen. It is conducting a hidden symphony of healing, directing where care is needed most. Every pulse that flows through you carries not only life, but guidance. A gentle whisper ensuring that every corner of your body knows where help must go. And as you drift into deep sleep, something beautiful begins. The conscious world fades, but the biological world awakens. Growth hormones surge softly through your veins, instructing cells to divide, to rebuild, to weave torn fibers back together. Your muscles knit themselves in silence, your body works in peace, and all you need to do is rest. While you sleep, your immune system reviews the day's encounters, marking intruders, storing memories, learning how to protect you better tomorrow. Even your brain joins in the quiet work. It washes itself clean, sending gentle waves of cerebrospinal fluid through its hidden pathways, rinsing away the chemical clutter of thought. This nightly cleansing is one of nature's oldest rituals. Without it, small wounds linger, stress gathers, and clarity slowly fades. Sleep is not a pause. It is a secret workshop, one that opens only when you finally let go. Each night, your body performs millions of unseen miracles, repairing DNA, calming inflammation, balancing hormones, and resetting the quiet rhythms of the heart. The deeper the rest, the stronger the healing. As you close your eyes, your cells begin their silent shift from survival to renewal. They work through the darkness to bring you back to light. Even your DNA carries its own repair toolkit. Every moment of every day, the delicate strands inside your cells face tiny injuries, from sunlight, from toxins, from the simple act of breathing, yet they rarely stay broken for long. Enzymes patrol the double helix like gentle caretakers, moving slowly along its spiral stair, searching for errors, stitching the code of life back together again. Some fix a single letter in the script of who you are. Others rebuild entire sections, restoring the harmony that keeps your story whole. And all of this happens quietly, faithfully, while you rest and dream. This molecular craftsmanship happens millions of times a day, silently, flawlessly, without you ever knowing it. When repair succeeds, the cell continues its life unharmed and renewed. When it fails, other systems awaken, to recycle, to replace, to begin again. The body does not treat damaged DNA as tragedy, but as a quiet call to adapt and restore. This is the grace of life, its ability to endure through constant change. Deep within every cell, evolution has left you a gift, a toolkit for resilience, ensuring that even your genetic story knows how to heal itself. And then, as night fades, the first light returns. Sunlight is more than warmth, more than brightness. It is a signal, a gentle awakening. When morning light touches your eyes and skin, it whispers to your body's inner clock, resetting its rhythm. It synchronizes the flow of hormones that guide your sleep, your metabolism, your recovery. Ultraviolet rays spark the skin to create vitamin D, the silent ally that strengthens bones and steadies the immune system. And deeper still, light travels to the brain where it stirs the chemistry of joy, lifting mood, calming thought, restoring balance. Too little light, and healing slows. Too much, and the same energy can harm. The key, as always, is balance. Our biology has always lived in partnership with the rising and setting of the sun, guided by its rhythm, its soft command to grow, to rest, and to repair. Standing in gentle sunlight each morning quietly tells your body that life continues, that the world still turns, and that healing, like the dawn, is a daily ceremony written in light. Within you, even wounds remember. Deep in the layers of the skin, a faint memory lingers, the echo of how it once became whole. When an old wound is touched again, the cells nearby awaken faster than before. It is as if the tissue remembers the choreography of recovery, the dance of repair it has already learned. Immune cells move with confidence. Stem cells rise from their quiet rest. Blood vessels begin to weave themselves anew, without hesitation. Scientists now believe that the body keeps a record of its injuries, a biological memory of what was broken and how it was mended. Even scars hold these memories, shaping how new tissue forms in their place. And so, healing is not just reaction, it is adaptation, a rhythm refined by experience, a wisdom the body carries forward. Each time you mend, you become a little wiser, a little stronger, a little more whole. Because your body remembers not just how to survive, but how to heal. And in that remembering, you are part of something ancient and beautiful, the endless rhythm of renewal that began long before you were born, and continues still, quietly within you. In its quiet language, every healed wound is a teacher, showing the next one how to find its way back to wholeness. But even the body's wisdom can be slowed by stress. When stress lingers too long, healing begins to falter. The body fills itself with cortisol, a hormone made for danger, not for recovery. Blood flow shifts toward the muscles, ready to run or fight, leaving the skin and organs waiting, hungry for their share of nourishment. Inflammation becomes confused, rising when it should fade. Even the immune cells that close our wounds lose their graceful precision. And in that quiet imbalance, the body's timing drifts. The daily rhythm of hormones that guides repair slips slightly out of tune. It doesn't happen all at once. It's subtle, like a song played just off tempo. But here's the beautiful truth. The opposite is also true. Calmness restores balance. Deep, slow breathing tells the body it is safe again. Laughter and rest reset the hidden signals, and the chemistry of healing begins once more. Beneath every stressful day lies the potential for renewal, waiting only for stillness, for safety, for peace to return. And laughter. Laughter is its own kind of medicine. When you laugh, your body becomes an orchestra of restoration. Muscles release their tension. The diaphragm moves like a wave, massaging the organs beneath it. Your heart rises briefly, then settles into a calmer, steadier rhythm. And in your brain, a flood of endorphins begins, natural chemicals of lightness and relief, easing pain, softening thought, and filling the quiet spaces with calm. Immune cells respond as well, rising in number, awakening with quiet purpose. They move through your body like tiny healers, increasing their activity, restoring balance where it's needed most. Blood vessels widen, circulation deepens, and warmth spreads gently to every corner of your being. Laughter's sound may seem light, a passing ripple of joy, but its effects run deep. It touches chemistry, emotion, and energy all at once. Even a brief laugh can quiet the stress hormones that slow recovery. The body, it seems, treats joy as medicine, and humor as a spark of renewal. Shared laughter is even more powerful. When people laugh together, their hearts and breaths begin to sync, beating softly in time. In that fleeting harmony, healing becomes something shared, a rhythm that belongs not just to one body, but to the connection between them. And even tears, those quiet mirrors of feeling, carry their own kind of wisdom. Every tear that falls is more than salt and water. Within it flows lysozyme, an enzyme that defends, capable of breaking down the walls of harmful bacteria. So whether you laugh or cry, your body is listening. Each expression, each emotion, is part of the same gentle science, the ancient art of healing written quietly within you. This natural defense coats the eyes, a quiet shield, keeping them clear, clean, and protected from the world's endless light and wind. Tears of emotion are different from the ones that rise when dust or smoke touches your eyes. They hold traces of stress hormones, small chemical sighs the body releases through the simple act of crying. As tears slide down your cheeks, they carry more than sadness. They carry release. Each drop washes away a little tension, a little story the body no longer needs to keep. Crying is often mistaken for weakness, but in truth, it is wisdom, a quiet biological ritual of cleansing and balance. Even something as soft as a teardrop reveals a deep truth. That emotion and immunity are not separate. They are threads of the same fabric, woven gently through the art of being alive. Healing often begins the moment we allow ourselves to let go. Deep inside you, even now, renewal never stops. Your gut lining, a thin, delicate frontier between you and the world, rebuilds itself every few days. Each cell lives a brief, devoted life, bathing in acids and enzymes, enduring one of the body's harshest realms so that you can draw in the nutrients of life and keep the rest safely out. At the base of every tiny fold, stem cells awaken, dividing, rising upward, replacing those that have finished their quiet service. It is a ceaseless rhythm of rebirth, a soft pulse of renewal happening in the dark while you rest, while you breathe, while your body remembers how to begin again. As old cells slip away, the lining of your gut renews itself, a living fabric that never unravels, only rewoven again and again. It remains whole, continuous, resilient. This constant rebuilding is more than digestion. It is protection. Much of the body's immune strength lives here, beneath the surface, listening to everything that passes through. When balance falters, when fatigue or inflammation rise, the gut responds in silence, beginning the work of repair almost instantly. In its unending renewal, the digestive system whispers one of life's purest truths, that survival is not a moment, but a rhythm that never forgets how to begin again. Each heartbeat carries more than rhythm, it carries instruction. With every pulse, the heart sends subtle electrical and chemical messages through the body, encouraging vessels to mend, muscles to strengthen, and tissues to renew. The organ that never rests doesn't just sustain life, it restores it. When tissue is wounded, nearby cells send quiet calls for help, signaling their need for oxygen and nutrients. In answer, the surrounding blood vessels awaken. Endothelial cells begin to move, stretching outward, forming delicate threads of new pathways. This process, angiogenesis, is nature's way of replanting life where damage once was. Tiny capillaries grow like roots in rich soil, reaching deeper until the wound blushes pink with returning blood. Over time, this network matures, becoming the quiet infrastructure of renewal. Within every scar lies a memory of that hidden garden, a forest of vessels that once reached toward light, proving that growth is always waiting beneath the surface. And when the skin is breached, the first to arrive are the platelets, swift, unseen guardians answering the body's alarm. Platelets, tiny fragments drifting quietly through your bloodstream, are always listening. They can sense the smallest change in pressure, the faintest whisper of chemical distress, and when something breaks, they rush toward the wound, gathering in a shimmer of motion to form a fragile seal that stops the bleeding. But their story doesn't end there. Once the surface is safe, they release a cascade of messages, signals that call immune cells to attention, that awaken collagen to weave, that summon new vessels to grow. They are not just protectors but messengers, tiny conductors guiding the next movements of recovery. Their timing is almost miraculous. Within seconds they arrive, and long after the skin closes, their instructions remain, written in the molecular patterns of the healed tissue, like sheet music for the body's quiet symphony of repair. In this grand orchestra of healing, platelets play the very first note, setting a rhythm that every other cell will follow. And when the music of mending continues, another instrument takes the lead. Scars, collagen's way of patching the past. When the body cannot perfectly recreate what was lost, it improvises with care. Fibroblasts move in, spinning a dense weave of collagen that seals the wound and restores strength. The new tissue is tougher, less flexible, a quiet reminder of where the body once broke and learned to become whole again. Scars are nature's way of remembering. They lack the tiny details of untouched skin, no sweat glands, no hair, none of the delicate textures that once shimmered with life, and yet they protect what lies beneath. Over time, the collagen begins to relax, reorganizing itself in quiet patience. The fibers soften, aligning with the natural lines of your body as if learning the language of calm once more. Some scars fade slowly until they nearly disappear into the skin's horizon. Others remain, gentle signatures of resilience, the body's quiet poetry etched in tissue. Each one tells a story of survival, of compromise between speed and precision, between saving life and preserving beauty. Beneath every mark lies a memory, the moment your body refused to give up, the moment it chose to keep you whole. And in rare cases, some people's skin carries an even deeper secret. They heal without leaving scars at all. Within them, the process unfolds with the grace of early life itself, cells communicating in perfect balance, collagen weaving itself in flawless harmony. Scientists call it scarless healing. They study these rare individuals, hoping to unlock the pattern, to learn how to guide every wound toward that same quiet perfection. Because somewhere, deep within all of us, the body still remembers what it was like to heal without a trace. In newborns, this ability is nearly universal. Tiny bodies that heal without scars, as if remembering a secret the rest of us have forgotten. But as we grow, that gift fades, buried beneath time and complexity. Yet even now, scientists are learning to listen to it again. Through gentle guidance of growth factors, through subtle electrical whispers sent across the skin, they are beginning to awaken the memory of scarless repair. One day, these discoveries may allow the body to not only restore appearance, but to truly rebuild what was lost: function, strength, and grace. For now, these moments are glimpses of what the human body still remembers how to do. Each seamless healing is a whisper from an older blueprint within us, a quiet echo from a time when regeneration was effortless and recovery left no trace behind. And just as the skin remembers how to mend, so does the breath. Slow, deliberate breathing does more than calm the mind. It speaks directly to your cells. With each long inhale, your heart softens its pace, blood vessels open, and stress hormones begin to fall away like dust settling after a storm. Deep within the cells, genes linked to inflammation grow quiet. Those tied to repair and renewal awaken gently as oxygen fills every corner of your being. Your mitochondria, the tiny engines of life, hum a little brighter, fueling the silent art of recovery. With every breath, you are reminding your body how to heal, a rhythm older than language, older than thought, the simple rise and fall of life returning to balance. Long before science could measure it, ancient practices like meditation and yoga understood the secret language of breath. Each inhale, each exhale, a messenger and a medicine shaping the very state of your cells. With every gentle rise of your lungs, you are sending calm through your body, reminding it that it is safe to heal. And deep within that calm, another miracle begins. The brain, that shimmering network of thought and memory, can rewire itself after injury. Neurons, like stars in a vast night sky, reach out to one another, forming new constellations of connection. When one pathway fades, others awaken, bridging the distance, learning new routes to carry movement, memory, and feeling. This quiet adaptability is called neuroplasticity. It is the brain's way of redrawing its own map whenever part of the landscape changes. Through therapy, through learning, through touch and sound and repetition, it reshapes itself, patiently, endlessly, guided by experience. Even after great loss, the mind searches for new paths, new ways for life to flow through. Healing in the brain is not the act of replacing what once was, but of rediscovering connection. And in this gentle flexibility lies one of biology's most hopeful truths, that even in the deepest silence, the brain remembers how to grow new light. Memories can heal too. They are not kept like photographs, frozen and untouched by time. Each memory is alive, rebuilt every time you return to it. And when your emotions change, the memory itself can change with them. Through therapy, reflection, or simple moments of new understanding, painful recollections can soften, their sharp edges smoothed by compassion. Inside the brain, a quiet collaboration begins. The amygdala, the hippocampus, and the prefrontal cortex working together to rewrite old stories with gentler meaning. This process does not erase the past, it reframes it. It lets you remember without reliving, to hold the past without being held by it. Healing then is not forgetting, it is transformation, turning wounds of the mind into wisdom of the heart. Each time the brain revisits a memory with kindness, it reshapes itself in gentler form, reducing the stress signals that once rippled through the body. And within that calm, something extraordinary happens. Hope begins to move through you, not just as a feeling but as a biological force. When you believe in recovery, your chemistry begins to change. Dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins flow more freely, supporting the immune system, quieting inflammation, and encouraging every cell to rebuild. Hope itself becomes medicine. It softens the heartbeat, loosens the breath, and turns the body's focus toward regeneration. Because healing, in all its forms, always begins with belief. Scientists have noticed something beautiful. Patients who hold on to hope often heal faster, not through magic, but through measurable changes in the body's own chemistry. Hope quiets fear, and fear is one of the greatest barriers to recovery. When hope speaks, it tells the body that effort is worth making. That energy should be spent on rebuilding, not retreating. Even the smallest spark of optimism can send ripples through the bloodstream, a cascade of hormones and neurotransmitters translating belief into biology. The body listens to what the mind whispers, and in that language, hope is not just emotion. It is a biological signal to keep moving toward life. And when the mind grows still, when it turns inward in quiet meditation, that healing deepens. As thoughts slow, the body follows. The heart softens its rhythm, breathing deepens. Waves of calm roll gently through the nervous system. Beneath that stillness, a transformation begins. Genes linked to inflammation grow quiet. Pathways of repair and protection glow brighter. Cortisol, the hormone of stress, drops to peaceful levels, allowing tissues to mend without interference. With regular practice, meditation becomes medicine. Sleep deepens, immunity strengthens, and the body learns to return to this natural rhythm of recovery more easily each time. What feels like silence is not emptiness. It is balance returning, a physiological harmony woven gently through the breath, through the bloodstream, through the quiet corners of being. The brain's rhythms can teach the body's rhythms to follow. In quiet moments, the heart, the breath, and even the tiniest cells begin to move in harmony, a silent orchestra returning to its natural tempo. In that stillness, the body remembers how to heal at its own gentle pace, not rushing, not resisting, simply unfolding as it was always meant to. Gratitude changes the very language of the heart, because the heart does more than pump blood. It listens, it responds, it sends messages through electric and magnetic fields that shift with every emotion. When gratitude appears, even for a fleeting moment, the heart's rhythms grow smooth, flowing in sync with breath and brain waves. Circulation improves, stress hormones soften, and the immune system awakens to its quiet work of repair and renewal. Those who live in daily gratitude often recover faster after illness, their bodies less burdened by inflammation, their cells more willing to restore and rebuild. Because gratitude does more than soothe the mind, it signals safety to the body. It whispers, you can rest now, you can heal here. Even silent appreciation for a single moment, a soft light, a steady breath, a memory that warms, can change the body's inner weather. The heart listens to thought as surely as it listens to blood flow, and it beats differently when it recognizes peace. Compassion too shapes the body's chemistry. It softens the edges of cortisol, the hormone of stress and alertness. Cortisol keeps us ready to survive, but when it lingers too long, it begins to wear us down. Compassion tells the body that the danger has passed, that it's safe to lay the armor down, to let the nervous system exhale, and in that release, the body begins to mend. Acts of compassion, whether given or received, have the power to quiet the body's storms. Each small gesture of empathy softens the flow of cortisol, the hormone of stress and strain, allowing calm to settle in its place. When we open ourselves to kindness, the brain responds in kind. It releases oxytocin, the gentle hormone of trust, of safety, of connection. Fear loosens its grip, muscles unclench. The heart finds a slower rhythm. Blood pressure drifts downward, digestion steadies, and deep within, the immune system begins to hum in quiet cooperation once more. Compassion tells every cell, you are safe now. You can begin to heal. Even the simple act of imagining kindness, picturing warmth, forgiving, understanding, creates real change. Heart rate eases, the body grows lighter, the mind more peaceful. Because healing is rarely a solitary act. It so often begins in the tender recognition of shared humanity, the quiet knowing that we are all, in our own ways, trying to mend. Through compassion, chemistry becomes connection, and the biology of care transforms into the science of recovery. Belief itself can move the body. The placebo effect is not illusion. It is chemistry awakened by hope. When the mind believes that healing has begun, the brain releases natural opioids, endorphins, and dopamine, the body's own medicine. Pain eases, mood steadies, immune cells listen and respond. Expectation becomes instruction, and the body obeys with remarkable precision. In this quiet partnership between belief and biology, we see a simple, beautiful truth that the body is always listening, always ready to heal whenever the mind whispers that it is time. Belief acts like a signal, a whisper that travels through the nervous system, telling every organ, every cell, that recovery has already begun, and the body listens. It rearranges its chemistry to match the story it's told. Even brain scans reveal this transformation. Regions once lit by pain and fear grow dimmer, quieter, under the light of belief alone. It is one of the most profound truths of being human. Healing begins in perception and spreads outward. When the mind envisions wellness, the body leans toward that vision, doing everything it can to make it real. Pain itself listens too. It is not only a matter of nerves and tissue, it is shaped by attention, by emotion, by connection. When someone listens with empathy, without judgment or hurry, the nervous system begins to soften. The weight of discomfort lightens. In those moments, the brain's regions of suffering quiet down, and the chemistry of calm takes their place. Oxytocin flows through the bloodstream, silencing the alarm bells of stress, reminding the body that it is safe, that it can rest. This is why presence heals. Why the sound of another heartbeat, steady and kind, can remind your own that it is not alone in its effort to mend. Sometimes healing does not begin with medicine or movement, but with listening, with the soft proof that someone cares. The immune system remembers this too. Every battle it has fought, every victory over illness is written into its memory. Specialized cells stand guard, quietly watching, ready to rise again should old threats return. Each scar, each antibody, each lesson learned in the invisible war within is a story of endurance. Proof that the body never forgets how to protect, how to rebuild, how to live. The next time that same intruder appears, the body does not hesitate. Its sentinels, the memory cells, recognize the familiar shape of the threat and rise to meet it before symptoms even begin. They move silently through the blood, a quiet patrol, a living archive of every challenge you've survived. Some of these guardians will remain for years, others for a lifetime. They are the reason a vaccine can protect you, and why most childhood illnesses never return. Within them is written the story of your endurance. Each encounter, each recovery, etched in protein and pattern. The immune system remembers well. It does not rest in forgetfulness, it learns. It evolves with you, growing wiser, more precise, more compassionate in its defense. It is a library of resilience, proof that healing leaves behind not just scars, but wisdom. Beneath your skin, your body keeps the story of its victories close, ready to protect you again. And when infection dares to enter, the body lights a controlled fire. Fever, that ancient faithful flame, rises not as a sign of weakness, but as strategy. Heat quickens the rhythm of the immune cells, guiding them faster, sharper as they hunt and heal. The warmth slows the invaders, weakening those that prefer the cool. At the same time, signals ripple through your bloodstream, proteins carrying messages of direction and urgency, telling white blood cells where to go, where the danger lies. It is not chaos, but choreography, a carefully timed surge of protection. Even in discomfort, fever is the body's way of burning clean, of reminding you that beneath every shiver, something powerful and purposeful is at work, a fire of life, set only to heal. The warmth that spreads through you, the heavy calm that follows, these are not signs of weakness. They are signs of effort. Your body is investing its energy in battle. As the fever rises, chemical byproducts are burned away, toxins are neutralized, and damaged cells are quietly recycled. Then, when the danger passes, the brain lowers the inner flame, returning your temperature to its steady, peaceful rhythm. Though it can feel uncomfortable, a fever is a form of purification, a cleansing fire that reminds you that heat too can be medicine. Within that glow, the body remembers balance and learns once more how to return to peace. And deep within the bloodstream, something even more delicate unfolds. Your white blood cells, those quiet guardians, do not speak in words or sounds, but in light. In the darkness of your veins, they send out soft pulses of faint illumination, tiny sparks called biophotons. Each glimmer carries a message, a whisper of distress, a signal of readiness, a call for unity. Scientists have seen these flickers when the immune system awakens, as though the body itself communicates in photons, a secret language of light. Every cell glows a little, but immune cells shine brightest. their signals weaving through the blood like distant stars exchanging messages across the night sky. Through this luminous conversation, the body stays in harmony, even in the midst of chaos. In every flicker of that invisible light lies a promise that your body is never silent, never still, always speaking softly to itself in the quiet language of healing. The discovery reminds us that we are not only made of matter, but of light. That healing is guided by an invisible radiance, always flickering just beneath the surface of being. Deep within your blood, a silent glow is at work, cell speaking to cell, in a timeless dialogue of restoration. Every pulse carries that light forward, connecting the whole body in one continuous breath of renewal. As you drift into deep sleep, the brain begins its nightly work. Endorphins, those soft messengers of relief, flow through your system like a tide, soothing tension, quieting the small aches of the day. They bind gently to the nerves, silencing discomfort and freeing your body to focus on the sacred task of repair. While the mind drifts into dreams, tissues awaken, cells rebuild proteins, strengthen their walls, and balance the chemistry of the immune system. It may seem like rest, but sleep is one of the most active and powerful forms of healing you know. Endorphins do more than comfort. They tune the rhythm of the heart, stabilize mood, and bring energy back into harmony. That quiet sense of calm you feel upon waking, it is not coincidence, but proof that your body has been speaking all night in the language of peace. Even now, deep within you, the conversation continues. Every cell carries a gentle charge, a tiny field of energy that hums in perfect coordination. These faint electromagnetic whispers are not random, they are guidance. They shape growth, direct repair, and help every cell know exactly where it belongs. You are a network of light and current, a quiet constellation of living stars, each one glowing softly in the darkness of the body, each one remembering how to heal. When a tissue is injured, the surrounding cells begin to whisper. They change their tiny electrical fields, sending out invisible signals that call for help. Immune cells, repair cells, and chemical messengers follow these patterns, guided not by sight, but by energy, a quiet map written in light. Long before hormones or molecules arrive, this electrical language begins its work, coordinating the rebuilding of what was lost. It is the body's first conversation after harm, a soft hum of connection beneath the noise of pain. Scientists have learned that by gently altering these fields, healing can be guided, sped up, slowed down, shaped like a current finding its course. It is proof that energy and biology are not separate things, but two sides of the same living pulse. Inside you, trillions of cells adjust their signals every second, each one listening, each one responding. Together, they form a luminous network of communication, a living symphony of light and electricity. You cannot hear it, but your body plays it endlessly, a song of balance and repair older than words. Your heart, too, is part of this great orchestra. With every beat, it sends out a magnetic wave, a gentle pulse strong enough to be felt beyond your skin. This field extends around you, shaped by emotion, changing with every breath you take. When you feel calm, the rhythm smooths, spreading coherence through the nervous system and quieting the mind. In moments of anxiety, the pattern becomes jagged, a reminder that even emotion has an electric shape. And so, the heart becomes both musician and conductor, tuning the body's energy, guiding the brain, and weaving every cell into one steady rhythm of life. This invisible energy does not stop at your skin. It reaches outward, resonating gently with the hearts around you. Every pulse, every breath creates subtle connections between people, a quiet harmony shared in silence. The heart is more than a pump. It is a conductor, shaping the body's vast symphony of signals. Within its steady rhythm lives the most powerful broadcast of balance, a magnetic reminder that healing moves both inward and outward, like ripples of light across still water. Wounds heal faster when the body's clock is in sync. Inside you, a quiet timekeeper, the circadian rhythm, guides almost every process, from how deeply you sleep to how swiftly your cells renew. Each cell follows this hidden rhythm, repairing itself most efficiently when your days and nights move in harmony with the turning earth. As darkness falls, growth hormone and melatonin rise, instructing tissues to rest and rebuild. In the morning light, cortisol and alertness awaken, fueling focus, circulation, and the immune system's steady watch. But when this rhythm is broken, by late nights, irregular meals, or stress, healing can slow, and the body's music drifts out of tune. Realignment is simple. almost ancient. Let sunlight touch your eyes each morning. Eat and rest at gentle, predictable times. Move with the day, and let the night cradle you into stillness. In this quiet partnership with time, the body remembers what it was made to do: to restore, to repair, to begin again with every dawn. Healing is not only chemistry, it is timing. When your inner and outer worlds move together, recovery becomes effortless, woven into the natural rhythm of life itself. The rise and fall of hormones, the cycle of sleep and sunlight, the pulse of breath, all play their part in the quiet choreography of repair. Not all light harms, some light heals. Within the spectrum of day, certain wavelengths of blue light hold a gentle medicine. Used with care, they can soothe acne, eczema, and other restless conditions of the skin. These rays travel softly through the surface, awakening molecules that silence harmful bacteria and calm inflammation without leaving a trace of injury. Beneath their glow, immune cells shift their tone, from aggression to balance, from defense to peace. This therapy mirrors the sun's natural touch, yet with precision and control, it offers only what is needed. The same force that burns in excess can also restore in moderation. It is a delicate reminder that nature's energy wears two faces: destruction and renewal, and between them lies the art of balance. When the right frequency meets the right purpose, light itself becomes a healer, a silent partner in the body's endless conversation between chaos and calm, between pain and repair. Red light has a quiet power. Deep beneath the skin, its warmth reaches the heart of every cell. The mitochondria, tiny furnaces that keep life burning. When these living engines awaken, they begin to spin faster, creating more of the molecule called ATP, the energy that fuels every heartbeat, every breath, every moment of repair. In times of injury or fatigue, cells grow hungry for this energy, and when red light touches them, it offers a spark, a soft encouragement to rebuild. Fibroblasts begin weaving collagen, the threads of renewal. Blood vessels grow stronger, delivering nourishment where it is needed most. This therapy does not cut, does not burn. It restores quietly from the inside out. Athletes use it to ease sore muscles. Doctors use it to help wounds close more quickly. But beyond the science, it feels almost like the body remembering the sun, a warmth that feeds, not scorches, a glow that reminds every cell of its will to live, to mend, to shine again. Light, once thought to exist only outside us, becomes medicine within, a gentle radiance teaching the body how to heal itself. Each cell drinks in the gentle glow, turning light into motion, into repair, into quiet resilience. Within that radiant hum, the body remembers something ancient, that energy and healing are simply two verses of the same song. Deep beneath the surface, stem cells rest like seeds waiting in warm soil, hidden in your bones, your skin, your muscles, and the soft rhythm of your organs. They lie in silence, holding endless potential. They do not rush, they wait, and when the body calls, when a wound opens or a tissue falters, they awaken. Each one listens to the signals of distress, then begins to divide, to transform, to become exactly what is needed. These are the shapeshifters of life, carrying no fixed form, only possibility, a memory of what the body once was, and what it can be again. With time, they grow slower, their songs softer but never silent. Even in later years, they answer the call, quietly renewing what can still be mended. Scientists watch them in awe, trying to learn the secret of how the body keeps such patience. How, within every one of us, there lives a field of sleeping stars, waiting only for the signal to shine again. The existence of these cellular seeds reminds us that the body never truly gives up. It keeps hidden reserves of hope, tucked away in every organ and tissue. Small gardens of possibility, waiting beneath the surface, ready to bloom at the first whisper of need. Healing does not always begin from the outside. It begins here, in the quiet readiness that has been part of you since the beginning. Even as time passes, this readiness endures, because deep within, your body remembers how to grow again. In laboratories around the world, scientists have found a way to speak this ancient language. By introducing a few special proteins, they can guide old cells to remember their youth, to unwind the clock and return to a stem-like state, capable once more of endless renewal. It is as if the cells are reminded of who they used to be. The discovery echoes what nature has always known, that life moves in cycles, and even decline can hide the pattern of return. But this miracle is not only found in laboratories. It happens quietly every day within you. Each night as you sleep, the body clears what is worn, rebuilds what is broken, and restores what can still be made new. Aging, it turns out, is not a straight path away from youth, but a spiral, and within every cell, there remains a trace of that first perfect design, a memory of balance, a whisper of vitality, always waiting to be awakened. This research carries immense promise, a glimpse into a future where medicine may not only heal what is broken, but restore what was once lost. It reminds us that the body's story is not written in straight lines, but in circles, a continuous dance of decay and renewal, rest and rebirth. Movement is one of the oldest medicines we know. When muscles awaken and begin to contract, they speak a language of chemistry, releasing small messengers called myokines that travel through the blood to distant organs and tissues, carrying a simple, powerful instruction: repair, rejuvenate, rebuild. Each heartbeat quickens circulation, sending oxygen and nutrients to the places that need them most. Within the marrow, stem cells stir, preparing to divide, to grow, to replace. Even gentle motion, a slow walk, a quiet stretch, a deep breath that expands the ribs, is enough to ignite these pathways. The body recognizes movement as a signal of life, and it responds with renewal. The soft ache that follows exercise is not a cry of damage, but a whisper of communication, the body's way of saying, "I have heard you, and I am growing stronger." In motion, every cell remembers its purpose. Each step, each breath, is a note in the body's ancient song of healing. Through this elegant feedback loop, movement becomes not only strength, but restoration, a reminder that healing thrives in the gentle rhythm of action. Deep within, another rhythm plays. In the quiet chambers of your gut lives an entire world, a vast community of bacteria, fungi, and viruses working in harmony, shaping your health in ways far beyond digestion. This hidden ecosystem, the microbiome, is both guardian and guide. It teaches the immune system when to defend and when to rest. It whispers to the body's cells, softening inflammation, and even guiding how the skin repairs itself. When this inner world is balanced, its tiny inhabitants create healing compounds, short-chain fatty acids, and gentle chemical messengers that drift through the bloodstream, carrying calm to distant tissues. They quiet the immune cells, reminding them that not every signal is a threat. But when balance falters, inflammation can rise like a tide, and wounds take longer to close. Restoring harmony is simple and deeply human. Fiber, fermented foods, rest, and mindful living nourish these inner allies. As they flourish, the skin begins to mirror their peace. The gut and the skin speak constantly, through nerves, hormones, and invisible chemistry, proving that healing never happens in isolation. Every part of the body listens, responds, and remembers. A peaceful stomach becomes peaceful skin, a quiet gut becomes a calm mind. Balance within always reveals itself without. Some bacteria teach the immune system how to calm down. Not all microbes are enemies. Many are quiet teachers, living within you, guiding balance from the inside. These friendly bacteria speak directly with immune cells, the dendritic sentinels and the patient T cells, showing them how to tell friend from foe, how to respond with wisdom instead of war. Without their guidance, the immune system can grow uncertain, attacking harmless dust or even turning its defenses inward. Modern life, with its sterile surfaces and narrow diets, often silences these microbial mentors, and as their voices fade, allergies and autoimmune storms have grown more common. To restore the lesson, we return to what is natural, to soil beneath our hands, to air rich with life, to foods that carry the memory of the earth. Every contact reawakens that quiet conversation, the language of coexistence. Within you, harmony depends on dialogue. The bacteria that live with you are not passengers, but collaborators, ancient allies whispering the difference between danger and peace. Through their unseen counsel, healing becomes not a battle, but a deep understanding, a remembrance that life itself thrives in cooperation. Inflammation is both destruction and the beginning of repair. When tissue is hurt, the body answers with a flare of energy, redness, warmth, swelling, pain. It feels fierce, but beneath that fire lies purpose. Blood vessels open, inviting immune cells to rush in, clearing away what no longer serves. broken cells, lingering invaders, the dust of what has been. This first wave can feel like chaos, but it is the body's way of making room for renewal. When the danger fades, the chemistry changes. Soothing signals spread through the blood, cooling the reaction, inviting calm to return. New cells begin to grow, woven gently into the space that fire once held. The same heat that destroys also awakens. It is not the enemy, but the spark of transformation. Trouble comes only when the flame forgets to rest, when inflammation lingers, quietly consuming the energy meant for healing. True recovery is a rhythm, a moment when destruction steps aside for creation. In that balance, the body remembers how to begin again. Emotions, too, can stir the chemistry of the blood. Fear, anger, sorrow, they are not confined to the mind. They ripple outward, sending signals the body feels. Adrenaline rises, vessels tighten, the heart beats faster. Immune cells brace for defense, believing danger has returned. Even unseen emotion can shift the tides within you. Every thought, every feeling has a voice the body can hear. Over time, this chemistry can grow tiring. When the body lives too long in the currents of stress, its healing slows. Resources that should be spent on repair are instead burned on defense. But the tide can turn with something as gentle as joy. Positive emotions, calm, gratitude, love, soften the vessels, open the flow of blood, and fill each cell with oxygen and ease. The blood itself grows quieter, carrying fewer signals of alarm and more of growth and renewal. Each feeling, each moment of peace, leaves a fingerprint in your circulation, guiding how your body restores itself. This connection between mood and matter is not imagination, but measurement. The heart and the brain speak constantly, an endless exchange of rhythm and chemistry, adjusting to every sigh, every thought, every breath. Healing begins not only with medicine, but with mood. How you feel changes what you are made of, and deep beneath the surface, another language of healing hums, a language made of electricity. Every living cell holds a tiny voltage across its membrane, a whisper of energy that tells it where to go and what to become. When skin breaks or tissue is torn, that voltage changes. A spark, a map made of light. Nearby cells sense it. Fibroblasts, keratinocytes, immune cells, all drifting like metal shavings toward a hidden magnet. They follow the current, repairing what has been broken, restoring what was lost. Scientists have learned to measure these delicate fields, and even to guide them. When the right current is applied, healing quickens. It is as if the body listens to its own electricity and remembers the pattern of wholeness. Electricity is not separate from biology. It is one of its oldest languages, a quiet current that life has spoken since the beginning. Long before medicine, before words like healing or cells were ever imagined, life was already guiding itself with charge and polarity, tiny streams of energy moving like invisible rivers through living tissue. These microscopic currents act as compasses of repair, aligning the wandering cells, pulling order out of the chaos of injury. Beneath every scar, beneath the surface of skin, there hums a steady, quiet force, an ancient intelligence restoring balance one spark at a time. And while electricity guides the pattern, another layer of healing begins. The work of chemistry, the art of protection. When tissue is hurt, unstable fragments called free radicals begin to multiply, crackling with excess energy, threatening the calm of nearby cells. In response, your body creates its own guardians, natural antioxidants like glutathione, catalase, and superoxide dismutase. They move through the damaged space like gentle firefighters, cooling the flames, neutralizing what could harm, and making the ground safe again for new growth to begin. This defense system is wise and adaptive. It listens. It sends more help exactly where it is needed most. And though diet, rest, and emotional peace all help this chemistry flourish, the first line of protection is born from within you. These antioxidants do more than simply shield the cells. They speak to them. They send signals of renewal, inviting energy to shift from defense to creation. Healing, after all, is not just about rebuilding what was lost. It is about managing energy, turning chaos into balance, turning instability into harmony. In every act of recovery, your body performs a quiet miracle, a work of light and chemistry, reminding every cell how to return to peace. Chronic pain can be retrained out of the nervous system. Sometimes, when an old injury has long since healed but the ache remains, The body is no longer the source, the memory is. Neural pathways that once cried out in warning continue to whisper danger, even when none exists. This is learned pain, a pattern that can be softened and slowly unlearned. Through movement, gentle therapy, and focused awareness, the brain can be taught a new story, one where safety returns, where sensation no longer means threat, but presence. Each time you breathe, each time you move without fear, you remind your nervous system that the danger has passed, and over time the alarm grows quieter, connections change, signals realign. The body begins to listen differently. It's not imagination, it's rewiring, a quiet transformation within the deepest circuits of your being. Healing in this sense is not about erasing the past, but teaching the body peace again. Pain once meant protection. Healing means trust. When the nervous system understands that you are safe, it begins to release its grip. It exhales, and in that release, the body remembers rest. Even the sound of your own voice can become part of that healing. When you hum, or sing softly, or simply speak with care, you send ripples of vibration through the chest and throat. These vibrations reach the vagus nerve, the quiet bridge between brain and body, between thought and heartbeat. When the voice moves gently, slowly, in rhythm, the heart begins to follow. Its pace softens. Its variability increases, a sign of calm, of resilience, of balance returning. Your voice in this way becomes medicine, a song the body understands, a reminder in sound and breath that you are safe and that it's finally time to rest. This variability, the subtle rhythm between heartbeats, is a measure of how gracefully your body adapts to life. When you sing or even whisper kindly to yourself, your breath begins to slow. Your nervous system listens and balance quietly returns. Even listening to gentle tones can weave harmony between heartbeat and breath. The voice becomes more than sound. It becomes a bridge linking thought to physiology, mind to matter. Every vibration carries a message, a quiet reassurance that the heart is safe. Through sound, we practice self-regulation, turning air and tone into medicine. The voice, simple, human, ancient, is one of the oldest healing tools we possess. Long before words, there was vibration, and through it, connection. When people sing together, something remarkable happens. Their breathing begins to align, heartbeats gently synchronize, and a shared rhythm emerges. This is called physiological synchronization, a quiet joining of bodies in time. As the music flows, stress subsides. Oxytocin, the chemical of trust and comfort, fills the blood. The group begins to move and feel as one. Choirs, chants, and sacred songs have always known this secret, that harmony is not just heard but felt. Now science confirms what ancient cultures always understood, that sound is a form of healing, and the voice, our oldest medicine. Sound has the power to merge individual rhythms into something greater than the self. When voices rise together, their shared vibration softens the pulse, steadies the breath, and calms the nervous system. Singing, it turns out, is not only art or worship, it is physiology. In the joined breath of a song, the body remembers what it means to belong. It recalls the safety of community, the quiet trust of breathing in time with others. Healing, then, becomes collective, a shared rhythm carried gently on the same air. Deep within this harmony lies one of the body's most remarkable connections, the vagus nerve. It winds from the brainstem down through the heart, the lungs, and into the gut, a living thread that ties emotion to immunity. Through this pathway, feeling becomes chemistry. When calmness returns, the vagus nerve awakens the body's rest and restore response, slowing the heart and easing inflammation. It whispers to immune cells that the danger has passed and invites repair to begin. Every deep breath, every gentle hum, every slow exhale is a signal of safety that travels this hidden highway. When you feel compassion, when you connect, the vagus hums quietly with life, turning peace into physiology and emotion into healing. The vagus nerve is a bridge between thought and tissue, between love and chemistry. It reminds us that healing is not only biological, but deeply emotional at its core. Chronic loneliness, quiet and unseen, can slow the body's ability to heal. Isolation does more than touch the mind. It changes the body's inner weather. Without regular connection, the nervous system stays on alert, as if still scanning for danger. Stress hormones rise, blood pressure follows, and immune cells prepare for battle instead of repair. Inflammation simmers, even when no wound is there. Sleep becomes shallow, digestion falls out of rhythm, and the inner tides drift away from balance. Without touch or shared laughter, the body is starved of oxytocin and serotonin, the quiet chemicals of safety and comfort. Yet connection, even in the smallest dose, can reverse this storm. A gentle hand, a shared smile, a kind voice on the wind, each tells the brain that it can rest again. That safety has returned, and from that signal, healing quietly begins anew. The body does not thrive in solitude. It is designed for relationship. Within genuine companionship, biology remembers how to rest, how to rebuild, and how to believe once more in its own renewal. Love, simple and ancient, literally strengthens the immune system, reminding every cell that it was never meant to heal alone. The chemistry of affection can be measured, yet it feels like magic. Acts of love release oxytocin, a gentle hormone that melts stress and strengthens the immune response. When you feel cared for, the body listens. Antibodies rise, inflammation fades, and healing begins to move a little faster. Love slows the heartbeat, steadies the rhythm of breath, and brings harmony to the tides of hormones flowing through the body. Even a single kind thought, a warm memory, a quiet wish for someone's peace can shift your chemistry. It sends a message from the mind to the bloodstream. You are safe. This is why those surrounded by care often heal more swiftly. Love is not only an emotion, it is energy, a current shared between nervous systems, rewriting the atmosphere inside cells. It softens the grip of fear and creates a calm field where regeneration can unfold. The pulse of affection echoes through the body, a tender rhythm whispering safety to every organ. And in that stillness, the immune system remembers how to work in harmony, not in haste. Even the simplest touch between friends lowers blood pressure and slows the racing mind. The warmth of skin against skin is more than comfort. It is communication, a language older than words, telling the body that it belongs and that all is well again. Gentle touch releases oxytocin and lowers cortisol, quieting the pulse and softening the breath. The body recognizes contact as safety, a message that danger has passed. When two people share touch and trust, their nervous systems begin to synchronize, like two instruments tuning to the same note. Calm moves between them, rippling through both hearts in waves too subtle to see, but deeply felt. In hospitals, a simple handheld can ease pain, steady breath, and help healing unfold for patient and caregiver alike. The same current flows through hugs, massage, or the gentle rhythm of a hand stroking a beloved pet. Touch is one of our oldest medicines, older than language, older than thought, written into the code of life itself as a promise of safety and belonging. Each time skin meets skin in kindness, the body remembers where it belongs. It begins to heal under the quiet guidance of connection. Even the smallest humans know this truth. Infants heal faster when held close. Skin-to-skin contact stabilizes their heartbeat, their breathing, their temperature. Stress melts away, replaced by steady growth. In the warmth and rhythm of another heartbeat, the newborn learns how to regulate its own. This first language of life is not spoken, it is felt. And through it, the body learns what peace means. Even the tiniest lives respond to love. Premature infants, fragile and new, show remarkable healing when they are touched, cradled, and held close. That simple contact, a heartbeat against a heartbeat, teaches the body its first truth. Safety allows healing. In those early moments, oxytocin and endorphins flow like invisible lullabies, weaving calm through every cell. The warmth of skin, the rise and fall of breath, becomes a signal to grow, to trust, to rest. Around the world, hospitals now practice kangaroo care, where infants lie against a parent's chest, absorbing warmth and security through touch alone. The result is both emotional and biological, proof that love is not an idea, but chemistry in motion. Healing begins in the comfort of another's arms, where the first lesson of life is whispered through rhythm and heartbeat. And as we grow, that same truth continues. Empathy, the quiet act of feeling with another, activates the same regions in the brain that ease pain itself. When you sense another's hurt and reach toward it with compassion, your own body releases endorphins too. Oxytocin softens the edges of stress and the mind settles into gentle calm. It is as if two nervous systems find a shared breath for a moment and both begin to heal. To care is to comfort, not just in spirit, but in chemistry. When empathy moves between hearts, both bodies remember that peace is something we create together. It becomes a gentle feedback loop, a circle of kindness made of biology itself. When we feel with another, healing quietly moves through both bodies. Neuroscience shows that this connection is not just emotion, but physical reality. Every act of empathy, every shared breath of understanding, lights up the brain in places once thought untouched by feeling. The warmth of compassion ripples through the immune system, balancing hormones, restoring calm. Compassion, it turns out, is not only a virtue, it is a form of medicine. A language written in chemistry, spoken through gentle presence and care. At the center of this conversation is oxytocin, the molecule of bonding and of repair. It drifts through your bloodstream like a soft tide, soothing the nervous system, quieting inflammation, and encouraging wounds to close. With each surge, it helps new blood vessels grow, weaves collagen where it is needed, and reminds the body how to knit itself whole again. Oxytocin keeps the immune system in balance, teaching it when to fight and when to rest. It flows freely in moments of trust, a kind word, a shared laugh, a loving touch. And when relationships feel safe, this current of calm becomes constant, guiding the body back toward peace and renewal. Some scientists believe oxytocin may be one of the oldest messengers nature ever wrote, a molecule that carries the memory of connection itself. A quiet proof that survival was always meant to be shared. It reminds the body that safety allows healing, that peace always follows affection. In moments of love or kindness, something subtle changes inside every cell. Chemistry softens, and the same molecule that binds two hearts also mends the smallest wounds. A perfect symmetry between the emotional and the physical worlds of being alive. The body is wise. It knows when to rise and when to rest. After the work of repair is done, it gently closes the chapter. Inflammation, that warm, protective fire, has its purpose. But when the danger has passed, the body releases quiet messengers called resolvins. They move through the bloodstream like calm rain after a storm, clearing away the immune cells, soothing the blood vessels, restoring the rhythm of normal flow. Without them, the flame of healing would keep burning too long, and even warmth can harm if it never cools. So the body performs an elegant dance of restraint, a return to silence, to balance, to stillness. This final phase of healing depends on gentle choices. Foods rich in omega-3s, soft hours of sleep, the simple grace of rest. These are the quiet architects of recovery. Healing, after all, is not only about what begins it, but what ends it beautifully. The ability to stop fighting is part of survival itself. And within that peaceful surrender, the body remembers how to move from struggle back into peace. Pain teaches the body how to protect, and, in time, how to let go. It is not an enemy, but a messenger, a quiet signal rising from within, reminding you to slow down, to listen, to care for what has been hurt. When the body feels pain, the nervous system gathers close, urging stillness, guarding the wounded place. And slowly, as repair unfolds, the lesson is learned. The brain adjusts. How you move, how you sit, how you carry yourself through the world. And when healing is complete, the signal fades, its message woven gently into memory. But sometimes, the body holds on longer than it needs to. The alarm keeps ringing, even when the fire is gone. In those moments, the mind must remind the body of safety. Mindfulness, slow breathing, gentle motion, each becomes a whisper that says, "You are safe now." Little by little, the brain relearns calm, and the echoes of pain soften. Pain then transforms, from suffering into information, from warning into quiet wisdom. It becomes part of the body's language of growth, because healing has never been just about fixing. It's about learning, adapting, becoming more whole. And when the body finally understands that danger has passed, it exhales, muscles release, the heart slows, peace returns. Some people, through practice, have even learned to guide their own chemistry, to calm inflammation, to steady the pulse of their immune system. Through focused breathing and the embrace of cold, they teach the body to stay peaceful even in discomfort. Adrenaline shifts, cortisol softens, and what was once automatic becomes conscious harmony. The lesson is simple and ancient. The mind and body are not separate. They speak the same quiet language, and when they listen to one another, healing follows. Research shows that the body listens to the mind in ways once thought impossible. Immune activity shifts, cytokines quiet, recovery unfolds more swiftly. This is not magic nor mystery, but the language of neurons, the delicate conversation between brain and body. Even a few mindful breaths can ripple through circulation, carrying oxygen where it is needed, balancing the immune system, reminding every cell that it is safe, that restoration is welcome. Consciousness becomes more than thought. It becomes participation. Every inhale, every gentle exhale guides the body toward equilibrium. Healing is no longer only passive, but a dialogue. Awareness speaking softly to biology, biology answering in kind. The cold, too, has its lesson. A chill awakens hidden programs of renewal. Cells begin a quiet cleanup, autophagy sweeping away what is worn, transforming debris into new energy. Norepinephrine flows, sharpens the mind, soothes inflammation, and reminds the body of its strength. In this gentle interplay of breath, focus, and environment, the body and mind work together as one. Recovery becomes not a distant hope, but a lived, felt rhythm, a symphony of renewal playing quietly from within. The body responds to cold with quiet precision. Blood vessels constrict to hold warmth close, then reopen as the chill passes, rushing fresh blood to every tissue. With each controlled exposure, mitochondria awaken, immune defenses sharpen, and cells treat the moment of discomfort as a gentle call to refresh themselves. Ice, winter air, or a brisk shower, all become small invitations for renewal. Challenge and calm intertwine, strengthening the body, clearing waste, and leaving a subtle, quiet rebirth in their wake. Fasting carries a similar whisper of restoration. Periods without food shift the body's focus inward. Cells pause from building, pause from storing, and turn toward repair. Through autophagy, damaged proteins and tired organelles are broken down and recycled into energy, reducing inflammation, supporting metabolism, slowing the passage of cellular time. It is not deprivation, it is redirection. Insulin gently lowers, growth hormone rises, muscle preserved, tissue restored. In the silence of absence, the body finds space to heal. A quiet choreography of renewal unfolding naturally from the wisdom written deep within every cell. The mind may quiet as the body cleanses itself, releasing clarity in the stillness. Ancient traditions intuited these rhythms long before science could measure them. Within each pause, efficiency blooms. Healing sometimes asks not for addition, but for removal, letting go of what no longer serves. In the stillness of fasting, the body listens deeply, rewriting its chemistry toward balance and renewal. Repair moves in rhythmic waves. Inside every organ, healing follows cycles of activation and rest. Genes that guide restoration switch on and off, tuned to the circadian cadence. During sleep, energy flows inward, rebuilding tissues and clearing toxins. When awake, focus turns outward, toward defense and function. Even at the microscopic level, repair pulses through the body, enzymes, hormones, and immune cells moving in timed bursts. A quiet choreography of life. Disrupted rhythms slow recovery, while restored regularity invites the body back to its natural flow. Each wave of repair builds upon the last, like tides reshaping a shore. Healing is rarely a straight line. It is cyclical, an endless dance between effort and ease, a rhythm of life echoing deep within every cell. Within that rhythm, balance emerges, and the body relearns how to renew itself with grace and precision. Each organ follows its own daily schedule of repair. The liver detoxifies mostly at night. Muscles rebuild during deep sleep. The brain clears away waste in the early morning hours, and the skin repairs damage best in darkness. These patterns are encoded in cellular clocks, anticipating the cycles of day rather than merely reacting to them. Disrupt sleep or overwhelm the body with constant artificial light, and the repair schedule becomes confused, delaying recovery. Aligning daily habits with the natural flow of light and dark restores harmony. Eating, resting, and moving at consistent times strengthens these internal rhythms. Each organ remembers when to cleanse, when to work, and when to heal. By following the Earth's rhythm, the body discovers its own, and healing becomes a dance of timing, not force. Nature has always worked through rhythm. Even in the absence of gravity, the body remembers differently. In space, blood and fluids drift upward, immune cells slow their patrols, and tissue repair becomes disorganized. Without the gentle pull of gravity, cellular communication falters, and wounds close more slowly. A quiet reminder that healing thrives in rhythm, flow, and connection. Astronauts experience this firsthand, forcing scientists to study how mechanical forces shape healing. Gravity guides circulation and provides subtle tension that keeps cells oriented. On Earth, this constant pull supports regeneration, keeping tissues aligned, active, and responsive. In space, the absence of weight exposes our reliance on planetary conditions for health. Experiments aboard orbital stations reveal new insights into bone loss, muscle regeneration, and wound repair. What seems like stillness in space is actually a test of balance. Healing, it turns out, is not only chemistry but physics, a partnership between the body and the invisible pull that anchors it to home. Astronauts also use red light to aid tissue recovery. Beyond Earth, where wounds slow and stress intensifies, red light therapy stimulates mitochondria, boosting energy within cells disrupted by microgravity. This gentle glow nourishes the body from the inside out, reminding us that even in orbit, life responds to rhythm, energy, and care. The brain's immune cells, known as microglia, patrol the nervous system like vigilant gardeners. They remove dead neurons, prune unused connections, and clear debris, ensuring the neural landscape remains healthy. This process, sometimes called synaptic remodeling, supports memory, learning, and repair after injury. Even in adulthood, the brain is never truly static. Its cells continuously adapt, reorganize, and rejuvenate. These microglia work in concert with neurotrophic factors, proteins that signal neurons to grow, reconnect, and strengthen. When sleep, nutrition, and mental activity are aligned, this cellular maintenance operates at peak efficiency. Disruptions to rhythm, stress, or inflammation can slow their work, but consistent care, both internal and external, encourages neural restoration. Together, the heart's quiet regeneration and the brain's ongoing pruning reveal a fundamental truth. Life preserves itself through subtle, persistent renewal. Even the most essential organs, once thought fixed and unchanging, carry the capacity to heal, adapt, and grow. Healing is a symphony of small continual acts, cell by cell, rhythm by rhythm, pulse by pulse, reminding us that regeneration is written into the very fabric of our being. Microglia do not work in isolation. They communicate with astrocytes, oligodendrocytes, and the neurons themselves, coordinating a precise choreography of repair. Chemical signals ripple through the tissue, guiding growth, pruning excess connections, and shaping networks for optimal function. The brain's ability to reorganize after injury, its neuroplasticity, relies on this cellular collaboration. Even subtle experiences influence microglial activity. Meditation, gentle movement, and restorative sleep encourage them to favor repair over inflammation. Stress, in contrast, can tilt their behavior toward overactivity, harming healthy tissue. In this way, the mind and body are entwined. Emotional balance shapes cellular behavior. Just as cellular behavior underpins cognition and feeling, over months and years, the quiet labor of microglia rewires circuits, restoring memory, sensation, and movement. The brain's immune cells are both guardians and gardeners, preserving clarity while planting the seeds of renewal. They are a reminder that even within the densest networks of thought, the body's regenerative wisdom endures. Healing in the brain is a dance of removal and construction, of night and day, of stillness and action. Every cleared neuron, every new synapse whispers a larger truth. The body and mind are never truly fixed. They carry within them a living, breathing capacity to recover, adapt, and flourish. The heart is not a static organ. When a blood vessel becomes blocked or damaged, the body quietly summons a response. Endothelial cells line the vessel walls, sensing shifts in pressure and chemical signals. In response, new capillaries sprout, weaving around the obstruction and restoring flow. This process, called angiogenesis, is slow and deliberate, but it demonstrates the heart's innate capacity to repair itself. Exercise, oxygenation, and certain growth factors amplify this renewal, encouraging the creation of fresh pathways for blood. Even in older hearts, this regenerative intelligence persists, a testament to the resilience embedded in every tissue. Each new vessel is a whisper of possibility, a reminder that the body carries the tools for restoration long before intervention arrives. Healing in the cardiovascular system, as in the brain, is a blend of biology and rhythm. Signals pass quietly between cells, guiding growth, directing resources, and coordinating repair. The heart learns from stress and injury, adapting its structure and function to maintain life's delicate balance. In this unbroken cycle, the body quietly teaches itself how to survive, recover, and flourish. These hidden vessels, called collateral arteries, lie dormant until they are needed. When a primary artery narrows or becomes blocked, these quiet channels awaken, enlarging gradually to carry blood around the obstruction. They form a living network of redundancy, ensuring that even when one path fails, life can continue uninterrupted. The growth of collateral circulation is guided by the same principles that govern all tissue repair: chemical signals, oxygen gradients, and cellular cooperation. Endothelial cells sense areas of low oxygen, fibroblasts provide structural scaffolding, and smooth muscle cells strengthen the new pathways. Over weeks and months, these vessels mature, integrating seamlessly with the existing circulation. This natural bypass is a testament to the heart's resilience and adaptability. It demonstrates that the body is never passive in the face of challenge. Even hidden beneath the surface, a quiet intelligence orchestrates repair, patiently restoring balance. Every pulse, every surge of blood becomes part of an intricate symphony of renewal, proving that the heart not only sustains life, it actively regenerates it. Scar tissue, once considered rigid and unchangeable, is actually a dynamic structure. Fibroblasts embedded in the matrix sense mechanical stress and chemical cues, gradually reorganizing collagen fibers to align with the heart's contractions. Over time, these fibers can soften, allowing previously stiff areas to stretch and move more naturally. In some cases, fibroblasts even acquire properties similar to cardiac muscle cells, helping the tissue contribute to pumping rather than merely filling space. Electrical impulses from the heart's rhythm play a vital role, coordinating cell behavior and signaling where repair is needed. Hormones released during exercise, rest, and emotional balance further guide remodeling, enhancing elasticity and function. Gentle, consistent activity encourages these forces, while rest allows the tissue to consolidate changes. The result is a heart that adapts, not just surviving injury, but reorganizing itself to optimize function. Scar tissue is no longer merely a mark of damage. It becomes a living part of the heart's regenerative story, a testament to nature's ingenuity and the body's remarkable ability to heal from within. Cells that have reached the end of their life do more than fade away. They send precise chemical signals calling forth fresh replacements. Senescent cells, once thought to be merely remnants, act as messengers to neighboring tissue. They release growth factors and cytokines that attract stem cells or progenitor cells, guiding them to sites where repair is needed most. This orchestrated handoff ensures continuity, preventing gaps in function and maintaining structural integrity. In addition, dying cells can modulate inflammation, signaling the immune system to remove debris efficiently without excessive tissue damage. By balancing clearance with regeneration, the body transforms what could be lost into opportunity. Every tissue, from skin to muscle, heart to liver, relies on this interplay, a conversation written in molecules and gradients rather than words. This chemical dialogue ensures that renewal is targeted, measured, and harmonized with the body's larger rhythms. Life, even at its microscopic edge, preserves its story through these messages, demonstrating that repair is not only a matter of replacing parts, but of teaching the new cells where and how to integrate. The body, in essence, remembers itself with every cellular farewell. As they crawl, they leave trails of chemical signals that guide the next wave of cells, ensuring continuity and coherence. Fibroblasts arrive to lay down scaffolding, while keratinocytes close the surface, creating a seamless repair. The wound, once an empty void, gradually fills with living tissue layer by layer, like a symphony building from a single note. Electrical fields act as invisible directors, nudging cells toward the correct orientation, while growth factors fine-tune the pace and pattern of movement. Even subtle shifts, hydration, oxygen levels, temperature, affect the choreography, showing how the environment and biology collaborate. This dance is slow, often imperceptible but precise, a testament to the body's innate intelligence. Healing in this way is both a collective effort and a continuous dialogue, cells teaching and learning from one another, transforming disruption into wholeness. By the time the edges meet, the wound has been mapped, bridged, and restored, leaving behind a tissue that remembers both the damage and the path to renewal. They shift from warriors to gardeners, leaving behind destruction and taking up nurturing. Now called repair macrophages, they secrete growth factors that encourage new blood vessels, stimulate fibroblasts, and calm inflammation. Their shape changes, their receptors adjust, and their behavior turns from aggressive to supportive. In this role, they orchestrate the final phase of healing, ensuring that the newly laid tissue integrates smoothly with what was already there. They remove leftover debris, fine-tune the extracellular matrix, and even signal other immune cells to stand down. It is a quiet transformation, invisible yet essential. A reminder that in biology, endings often carry the seeds of renewal. Through this elegant shift, the wound moves from chaos to harmony. The same cells that once fought now teach, guide, and stabilize. Healing at its core is a story of adaptation. Danger becomes repair. Destruction becomes construction, and the body learns once more how to restore itself from within. Platelets are tiny but mighty, carrying both instruction and initiative. Beyond stopping bleeding, they orchestrate the early choreography of repair. By releasing growth factors, they signal fibroblasts to weave collagen, endothelial cells to form new vessels, and immune cells to manage inflammation. Each platelet acts as a conductor in a cellular symphony, ensuring that every participant knows its role and timing. In essence, they turn a chaotic injury into an organized blueprint for restoration. Modern therapies harness this natural intelligence, concentrating platelets to accelerate healing in joints, skin, and tissues. Yet even without intervention, the body relies on these microscopic architects to translate damage into design, showing that repair begins with guidance as much as with action. From clot to reconstruction, platelets demonstrate that the earliest steps of healing are not just defensive, they are profoundly creative, laying the foundations for every layer of recovery to follow. These neural immune memories act like a biological notebook. Each encounter with pathogens or injury leaves a trace in the brain, informing future responses. When the body faces a similar challenge again, these neurons recall prior strategies, accelerating immune activation and improving precision. This memory is not static. It adapts with every new experience, refining the balance between defense and repair. In this way, the brain and immune system communicate continuously, learning from past battles to anticipate future needs. Healing becomes smarter with time. What might seem like repetition or vulnerability is actually the body rehearsing its own resilience, encoding lessons of survival into circuits that guide every future response. The result is a system that doesn't merely react. It remembers, adjusts, and strengthens itself with each cycle of challenge and restoration. These hormonal signals are the body's internal coordination network, ensuring that repair happens efficiently and harmoniously. They dictate not only where resources are sent, but when and how much is needed. For example, after injury, cortisol initially rises to control inflammation, preventing excessive tissue damage. As healing progresses, growth hormone surges to stimulate cell division and tissue regeneration. Insulin delivers energy precisely where rebuilding is occurring, and thyroid hormones adjust metabolic pace so organs can meet the energy demands of repair. The endocrine system essentially choreographs a complex, multi-organ ballet, aligning energy, immune activity, and tissue regeneration. Without this hormonal guidance, healing could become chaotic, cells acting out of sync, resources misallocated, and repair delayed. Through these molecular messengers, the body maintains a delicate balance, transforming injury into restoration with timing, precision, and remarkable elegance. Estrogen's influence on healing illustrates how the body's chemistry works as both signal and scaffold. By enhancing circulation, it ensures that oxygen, nutrients, and immune cells reach the site of injury efficiently. Its effect on collagen production strengthens the structural framework of tissue, allowing wounds to close with resilience and minimal scarring. At the same time, estrogen modulates the immune response, tempering inflammation so that repair proceeds without unnecessary damage. This hormone exemplifies the balance inherent in biology. It combines strength and flexibility, action and restraint, defense and repair. Even as its levels fluctuate through life, during menstrual cycles, pregnancy, or menopause, the pathways it supports remain integral to the body's regenerative rhythm. Nutrition, rest, and gentle movement can help maintain these mechanisms, reminding us that healing is not merely a reaction, but a coordinated dance of molecules, cells, and time. In every pulse of estrogen, the body whispers that renewal is continuous, cyclical, and deeply connected to the rhythm of life itself. IGF, insulin-like growth factor, acts as a powerful conductor of cellular rebuilding, translating the body's growth signals into concrete repair. It stimulates progenitor and stem cells, guiding them to divide, specialize, and reconstruct damaged tissue. In muscle, IGF promotes fiber regeneration and hypertrophy. In bone, it encourages osteoblast activity to restore strength. In nerves, it supports survival and reconnection. Like other hormones, IGF's effect is context-dependent. Its release is tuned by nutrition, exercise, and overall hormonal balance, ensuring that energy is directed where it is most needed. This careful modulation prevents overgrowth or misallocation of resources, allowing healing to proceed efficiently, yet sustainably. Together with estrogen, testosterone, and growth hormone, IGF forms part of the body's intricate endocrine symphony, orchestrating repair and harmony with the body's broader rhythms of energy, rest, and adaptation. Adrenaline is a double-edged signal. It primes the body for survival, yet prolonged exposure can hinder the very repair it was meant to protect. By constricting blood vessels, it limits oxygen, nutrients, and immune cells from reaching damaged tissue. Chronic stress keeps this system activated, suppressing recovery and increasing inflammation. However, this effect is reversible. Once stress diminishes, circulation normalizes, allowing growth factors like IGF, collagen, and stem cells to resume their work. Techniques that reduce adrenaline, deep breathing, meditation, gentle movement, or social connection restore the flow of resources, letting tissues rebuild efficiently. In essence, adrenaline reminds us that the body prioritizes survival first, but healing requires calm, circulation, and the release of tension so that repair systems can fully engage. These natriuretic peptides show that the heart is more than a pump. It is a self-regulating organ that monitors stress and responds with repair signals. By relaxing vessels, reducing fluid overload, and subtly guiding tissue restoration, the heart actively protects itself while maintaining systemic balance. This dual role, function and self-healing, demonstrates the body's inherent wisdom. Stress signals trigger not only defense, but also built-in mechanisms for recovery, ensuring that even under pressure, the heart can guide circulation, reduce strain, and support regeneration. Through this intricate chemistry, the heart exemplifies how life balances challenge with renewal, responding to stress with both resilience and repair. The immune system is not static. It dances to a daily rhythm. White blood cells patrol, inflammation rises, and antibody production peaks according to the body's circadian cues. During sleep, immune activity shifts from active defense to maintenance and preparation, clearing debris and priming for future threats. Disrupting this rhythm through irregular schedules, poor sleep or artificial light can weaken immunity and slow healing, while aligning lifestyle with natural cycles, consistent sleep, regular meals, and timed activity optimizes defense and recovery. Even medical interventions like vaccinations are more effective when they respect these internal clocks, highlighting that timing is as vital as the action itself in the art of healing. The body's clock is not only in the brain, it ticks quietly in every cell, aligning immunity, repair, and renewal with the greater cycles of the earth. When the sun rises and night fades, healing moves with perfect timing, a delicate dance of defense and restoration. At dawn, as soft light brushes the eyelids, the adrenal glands release a gentle pulse of cortisol. This is the signal that the night's deep repair is ending and the day's alertness begins. Throughout the darkness, inflammation has been tempered, growth has surged, and cells have worked quietly. Cortisol now winds these processes down, removing excess immune cells, balancing energy, preparing the body for the rhythm of the day. Too much cortisol can slow healing. Too little can let inflammation linger. The balance is subtle, a silent wave that flows best when sleep is consistent and the body's cycles are respected. Cortisol is not merely a stress hormone, it is an agent of order, closing one chapter of restoration and opening the next. Each sunrise a reminder that the body has completed its nightly labor and begins again, renewed. Within this rhythm, vitamin C plays its quiet role. It supports collagen formation, helping tissues knit together, securing the body's architecture as it heals from the smallest scratches to the deepest repair. Without enough vitamin C, the body cannot fully weave collagen, the delicate protein that forms skin, ligaments, and blood vessels. This humble nutrient works alongside enzymes cross-linking collagen fibers, so they gain both strength and flexibility. It quietly supports the immune system, neutralizing free radicals that might harm tissues as they heal. Humans cannot make vitamin C on their own. We rely on the bounty of food, just as sailors once relied on citrus to prevent scurvy. A reminder of how vital even the smallest molecules can be. Today, vitamin C continues to guide every stage of repair, sealing skin, rebuilding bone, and nurturing the silent work of white blood cells and adrenal glands. Zinc, too, joins the dance of recovery. This trace element is a quiet architect of renewal. When tissues are damaged, zinc becomes a cornerstone, helping enzymes copy DNA so that new cells can divide, replacing the old and mending what was broken. Together, vitamin C and zinc remind us that healing is not only chemistry, but harmony, a balance between nourishment, energy, and the body's innate wisdom, each molecule quietly guiding life back toward wholeness. Zinc quietly stabilizes cell membranes, shielding them from oxidative damage during repair. It guides white blood cells as they patrol for infection and encourages fibroblasts to weave collagen, giving strength to new skin and muscle. Without zinc, wounds may linger, and the immune system loses some of its precision. The body holds only tiny reserves, so gentle, steady nourishment is essential. Seeds, legumes, and whole grains carry this mineral, each molecule supporting countless microscopic acts of creation. In its simplicity, zinc holds a blueprint for restoration, a pattern every cell seems to understand. Protein is the body's raw material for regeneration. Every act of healing depends on it. Within long chains of amino acids lie the instructions for repair, the tools for structure, and the fuel for restoration. After injury, the body's demand for protein rises. It draws on the food we eat to build collagen, enzymes, antibodies, and new muscle fibers. Without enough, wounds close slowly, immune defenses falter, and tissues grow weak. Each meal, each nutrient, becomes part of the quiet symphony of recovery, feeding life's endless work of rebuilding, one molecule, one cell, one heartbeat at a time. The body quietly prioritizes repair above all else, diverting amino acids wherever they are needed most. Even hair and nails slow their growth so deeper, more vital systems can mend first. A steady, balanced supply ensures harmony, feeding both surface and core. Protein becomes more than nutrition. Each bite is a small act of participation in life's endless renewal. Every morsel is transformed into strength and stability, woven into the fabric of recovery through chemistry that has been unfolding since the dawn of living matter. Iron works in the background with equal importance. We often know it for carrying oxygen, but its role in healing runs far deeper. It fuels collagen production, supports immune cells, and powers the enzymes that generate energy for repair. Without enough iron, tissues hunger for oxygen and the machinery of healing slows. Pale skin, fatigue, lingering wounds, all whisper of this quiet deficiency. In recovery, red blood cells act as couriers, delivering oxygen to every cell, rebuilding tissue. When iron is restored, whether through food or gentle supplementation, the rhythm of regeneration awakens again, recharging every system and reminding the body of its natural, quiet power to heal. Leafy greens, lentils, and whole grains quietly provide the mineral that rekindles vitality. The process is simple, yet profound. Oxygen arrives, cells awaken, and life resumes its gentle flow. Iron is not merely metal. It is breath condensed into mineral form, carrying the will of life into every corner of the body. Deep within the gut lives an ecosystem that patiently teaches balance. Trillions of microbes communicate with immune cells, showing them how to recognize threats without overreacting. This education begins at birth and continues throughout life. A diverse microbiome helps the immune system distinguish friend from foe, reducing unnecessary inflammation that could slow healing. When these bacterial communities thrive, recovery flows more smoothly, and infections are less severe. They produce compounds that calm the nervous system and nourish the lining of the gut, strengthening the body's first barrier of defense. Diet, sleep, and even emotion influence their harmony. Fermented foods and fiber serve as sustenance for these microscopic partners, allowing them to continue their quiet work. Healing is never solitary. It is a cooperative dance. Deep inside, millions of unseen lives maintain peace, keeping the body's defenses wise, patient, and measured even after antibiotics, which can disrupt this delicate balance. Probiotics gently help restore harmony. They support digestion, reduce inflammation, and guide the immune system back to calm attentiveness, allowing the body to resume its natural rhythm of repair. Probiotics quietly restore harmony, replenishing the species that keep immunity calm and nutrients flowing. These friendly bacteria produce vitamins, strengthen the gut wall, and send gentle chemical signals throughout the body. During recovery, they ease inflammation and help reestablish a peaceful internal environment, a place where healing can thrive. Fermented foods, yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, carry these natural allies, allowing them to colonize the gut anew. The process is subtle, gentle, yet transformative, teaching the immune system how to respond with precision rather than force. In every restored colony of microbes, the body discovers another rhythm of renewal. The relationship between human and bacteria is ancient, a shared memory of survival, quietly shaping the story of healing even today. Chronic stress, by contrast, can suppress the immune system's response. When the mind perceives danger, stress hormones flood the body, preparing it for survival. If this alert state persists without pause, those same hormones begin to slow immunity. White blood cells lose their efficiency, inflammation lingers, and recovery drifts. The body remains vigilant but cannot rebuild fully. Over time, chronic stress gently steals the energy meant for repair, diverting it toward watchfulness instead of restoration. Even the smallest wounds may linger a little longer, and minor infections may appear more easily when the body is tense. But calming the nervous system can quietly reverse this pattern. Breathing deeply, resting fully, and finding moments of stillness ease cortisol levels, allowing the immune system to awaken and rise again. The link between peace of mind and physical restoration is profound, a reminder that the body thrives in safety, not in strain. Each time you let calm return, healing resumes its natural rhythm, showing that serenity itself is a kind of medicine, written delicately into every living cell. The brain and immune system are in constant conversation. For centuries, science thought they were separate, but now we know they exchange messages through tiny molecules and nerve fibers, allowing thoughts, emotions, and experiences to influence inflammation and repair. Stress, joy, fear, and hope all take part in this dialogue, shaping the pace and quality of recovery. Even microglia, the immune cells of the brain, respond to this chemistry, adjusting behavior, memory, and mood in subtle ways. The relationship is circular and gentle. A healthy brain supports strong immunity, and a balanced immune system nourishes a clear, peaceful mind. Every feeling leaves a soft trace within the body, guiding cells toward action or rest, as if the mind and body are whispering to one another in a language only they can understand. This partnership is not just a metaphor, it is biology, an intimate conversation shaping every recovery, every calm breath, every quiet moment of resilience. Healing is more than chemical, it is emotional. Studies show that those who feel supported, hopeful, or at peace tend to recover faster after injury or surgery. Negative emotions like anxiety or loneliness release stress hormones, gently constricting blood vessels and slowing immune activity. Joy, laughter, and calm, by contrast, open circulation and encourage cells to work together, turning care and comfort into a subtle, tangible force. The body listens closely to the tone of the mind. When the heart feels safe, blood flows freely, inflammation softens, and the quiet orchestration of repair unfolds with ease. Even recalling a happy memory can warm the skin slightly, a tiny signal that cells are responding to the gentle touch of emotion. Emotion writes itself directly into biology, shaping healing at the smallest, most delicate levels. The lesson is simple yet profound. Every comforting thought, every shared kindness feeds the body's quiet need to restore, turning feeling itself into a gentle force of renewal. Optimism quietly shapes the body from within. Those who carry hope in their hearts often show lower levels of inflammation, measurable traces in the blood such as C-reactive protein and interleukins. This is not coincidence. It is a conversation between mind and body, where positive expectation gently tunes stress hormones, keeping cortisol balanced and the immune system alert yet calm. Hopeful thoughts become biological signals, encouraging recovery from surgery, infection, and chronic illness. Expectation itself nudges nitric oxide levels upward, widening blood vessels, easing flow, and reducing pressure. Optimism is not naive. It is deeply practical, a subtle rhythm the body recognizes, inviting repair and renewal. Even small gestures toward gratitude or appreciation ripple outward, calming the nervous system, smoothing the heartbeat, and softening tension in vessels. Laughter adds its own gentle motion to this orchestra. Each giggle and chuckle contracts and releases muscles, massaging the organs, moving blood in quiet waves, and sending chemical messengers that awaken immune cells. With every smile, the body becomes a little more resilient, a little more ready to restore itself, reminding us that joy is not just feeling, it is medicine in motion. Lungs fill with oxygen and the heart quickens briefly before settling into calm. This rhythm enhances circulation, washes away lingering stress hormones, and awakens natural killer cells, the quiet guardians that defend the body against infection. Laughter sparks its own cascade of healing. Endorphins, the body's natural pain relievers, flow freely, softening tension and leaving traces of well-being long after the sound fades. Shared humor deepens bonds, reinforcing the invisible web of emotional support that helps recovery unfold more smoothly. Even laughter practiced without reason, simulated or playful, elicits the same response. The body does not need a joke to smile. It needs only the movement. Within that simple motion, chemistry shifts toward balance. Each laugh becomes a gentle medicine, echoing through the heart and bloodstream, inviting restoration and vitality. Touch, too, carries profound healing. The warmth of a hand, the brush of skin sends messages older than words. Oxytocin rises while cortisol falls, easing strain on the heart and immune system. Breathing slows, blood pressure drops, and the vagus nerve, a bridge between emotion and organs, relaxes. In this quiet connection, the body remembers what it feels like to be safe, and healing flows more freely. Hospitals that integrate massage and therapeutic touch observe tangible improvements in both recovery and patient comfort. Even a brief gesture, a hand on the shoulder, a reassuring embrace can shift the body's entire physiology toward calm. The skin, rich with millions of receptors attuned to pressure, texture, and warmth, sends constant messages of safety to the brain. These signals ripple outward, transforming the chemistry of stress into the chemistry of healing. Through touch, the body recalls its connection to others, and in that remembrance it finds the calm necessary to mend. Meditation wields a similar quiet power. Stillness changes the body from within. The heart rate slows, blood vessels relax, and the brain's electrical rhythms fall into harmonious patterns of calm. These shifts lower blood pressure, improve circulation to tissues in need of repair, and allow inflammation to ease. With regular practice, meditation enhances immune function and rewires neural pathways tied to fear and stress, creating resilience that lasts far beyond each session. The silence of meditation is not emptiness, it is restoration. A gentle invitation for the body's internal rhythms to realign and for healing to unfold naturally. Each slow, deliberate breath draws the body's chemistry toward harmony. Over time, the benefits accumulate, measurable in improved heart rate variability, balanced hormones, and steadier emotions. In the still center of the mind, the body discovers its deepest repair, proving that rest can be as potent as motion in the art of healing. Gratitude awakens brain regions linked to regeneration. When felt sincerely, it lights up areas associated with reward, empathy, and decision-making. This activation quiets stress responses and enhances parasympathetic activity, fostering healing. Moments of grateful reflection lower blood pressure, stabilize glucose levels, and reduce the production of inflammatory molecules. They shift attention from scarcity to abundance, training the brain to recognize safety rather than threat. Over time, this rewiring becomes a habit, creating a constant state of calm that supports physical recovery. Even the simple act of writing down what you appreciate can alter neural activity, sending signals throughout the body that all is well. Gratitude is more than an emotion. It is a state of physiological coherence, a gentle guide for the body's natural restoration. In the simple act of noticing goodness, the body receives permission to rest, rebuild, and thrive. The heart and mind synchronize, and healing becomes not a goal, but a natural state of being. Deep breathing reshapes the chemistry of stress hormones. Each slow, deliberate breath is a conversation between body and brain. As you inhale deeply, sensors in the lungs send signals to the nervous system that safety has returned. Cortisol and adrenaline decrease, replaced by rises in endorphins and serotonin. Blood pressure lowers, oxygen saturation improves, and inflammation begins to subside. Deep breathing also enhances heart rate variability, a key marker of resilience. The diaphragm acts like a gentle pump for the lymphatic system, aiding circulation and detoxification. Within minutes, the body shifts from defense to repair. The simplicity of breath hides immense power. With nothing more than air and awareness, you can reshape the chemistry of recovery. Each exhalation releases tension. Each inhalation invites renewal. Breathing deeply is not merely calming. It is biological healing in its purest and most accessible form. Heart rate variability reflects how well the body recovers. The tiny fluctuations between beats reveal profound truths about health. High variability signals a flexible nervous system, able to move fluidly between alertness and rest. resilience, and calm. Low heart rate variability signals chronic stress, fatigue, or illness. This subtle rhythm reflects the body's capacity for adaptation and healing. When calm practices, deep breathing, restful sleep, and gratitude enhance variability, inflammation decreases and recovery accelerates. Athletes, doctors, and researchers measure this rhythm to gauge resilience. Yet the body has understood it all along. The heart's beat tells an ongoing story of balance. It does not demand perfection, only responsiveness. A flexible heartbeat signifies a system that meets challenge with grace. The secret language of heart rate variability is the rhythm of healing itself, a constant reminder that health is not stillness, but the ability to move fluidly between strain and serenity. The brain, too, possesses a remarkable gift: neuroplasticity. Neurons can rewire themselves, forming new pathways when others are damaged or lost. This adaptability allows recovery from trauma, stroke, and illness once thought permanent. Repetition, focused practice, and sensory stimulation guide these changes, helping the brain rebuild and learn anew. The process is gradual, governed by chemistry and perseverance, yet it never truly ends. Even in adulthood, fresh neurons emerge in certain regions, integrating into networks of memory, movement, and perception. Every thought and experience subtly reshapes the architecture of the mind. Healing, therefore, is both physical and mental growth. Within each quiet moment of focus or curiosity, neurons reach toward one another like branches, weaving new patterns of understanding. The brain's plasticity is a promise that repair and learning are simply two expressions of the same wonder. Mirror therapy offers a remarkable example of this principle in action. After a limb is lost, the brain's map of the body often continues to signal pain or sensation where the limb once was. By observing the remaining limb in a mirror, the brain perceives it as the missing one, updating its internal image. This gentle illusion restores coordination and can reduce phantom pain. Over time, neural pathways reorganize, silencing unnecessary signals and reinforcing accurate ones. The therapy illustrates how perception guides physiology, how imagination can reshape pain, and how the nervous system can learn that balance and wholeness have returned. What begins as a trick of reflection can become genuine recovery, showing that healing sometimes arises not from fixing the body, but from teaching the mind to see differently, aligning perception with the truth of wholeness. The body stores physical memories of trauma. Emotional experiences can leave subtle imprints within muscles, posture, and breath. When trauma occurs, tension locks into tissues through patterns of stress hormones and sustained muscle contraction. Over time, these stored memories may appear as pain, stiffness, or fatigue. Gentle movement, mindful therapy, and attentive awareness help release them, allowing energy to flow freely once more. The process is both biological and emotional. As muscles soften, the nervous system registers safety, and the body relinquishes its constant vigilance. Scientific studies confirm that trauma can alter cellular signaling and even influence gene expression, affecting health long after the original event. Healing, then, is the restoration of communication between body and mind, a subtle unraveling of suppressed patterns. As the body relaxes, awareness returns, and the natural rhythm of resilience is restored. Every stretch, every sigh becomes an act of remembrance and release, transforming pain into understanding. The body never forgets, but it also never stops offering the chance to begin again. Healing can release old cellular stress patterns. Inside each cell, stress leaves subtle traces: misfolded proteins, oxidized molecules, depleted energy stores. When repair begins, these patterns are revisited and cleared away. Cellular cleansing occurs through processes like autophagy and mitochondrial renewal. It is both repair and reinvention, as each cell not only mends but also learns. Emotional release often mirrors this biology. As the nervous system sheds outdated patterns once needed for protection, the body rebalances, chemistry quiets, and a new equilibrium emerges. Fatigue, tears, or vivid emotion may accompany this phase, signs that deep restoration is underway. Healing is not merely erasing damage, it is rewriting memory. Each cell once burdened becomes lighter, more efficient, more alive. Within this choir of transformation, the entire organism realigns with its natural rhythm of vitality. The process reminds us that to heal fully is to remember peace on the smallest scale imaginable. Healing is the body's most ancient language of life. Before thought, before speech, before even consciousness, there was repair. Every cell on Earth carries within it the instinct to restore what is broken. This impulse predates evolution's complexity, stretching back billions of years to the first forms of life that learned how to persist. Healing is the foundation upon which survival stands. It is the translation of experience into adaptation, of injury into wisdom. Each scar, each renewal is a phrase in that universal language. Across species and centuries, the message remains the same. Continue. Within this conversation, life speaks to itself through chemistry, rhythm, and light. Every heartbeat echoes the same declaration uttered by the earliest cell: I will go on. Healing in its truest form is not an act of fixing, but of remembering. It is life recognizing itself and choosing once again to begin. As we drift toward the end of this quiet journey, let yourself rest in the gentle truth that healing is not a single moment. It is the soft rhythm that continues beneath every breath. Even now, as you lie still, your body is at work in silence. Cells are rebuilding, nerves are rewiring, and the pulse of life moves through you with perfect patience. Healing does not always announce itself. It is found in the moments when you exhale completely, when you forgive yourself for being tired, when you remember that rest is not idleness, but an act of trust. Every heartbeat, every dream, every small sigh in the dark is a note in the body's quiet song of renewal. You are not the same person who began this night. Somewhere deep inside, chemistry has shifted. Tension has loosened its grip. Your body knows what to do, and it is never forgotten. Even when pain feels endless, even when fatigue whispers otherwise, the will to mend remains steady, ancient, and sure. So let your thoughts drift like slow clouds. Let your breath lengthen, your shoulders soften. Feel the air moving in and out, effortless, alive. That is life continuing its promise, weaving you back into balance, one calm moment at a time. Healing has been with you since the very beginning, written into every cell and carried in every drop of blood. It asks only that you listen, that you rest, that you allow the world to hold you as you are. If you have enjoyed this quiet journey, feel free to like, subscribe, or share a thought below. Your small gesture helps others find this space too, one sleepy soul at a time. For now, close your eyes and release the noise of waking life. Let stillness settle over you like a soft blanket. Feel your body ease into its own rhythm, calm and complete. Sleep well, and may your dreams be gentle.